Welcome to the Tomb Raider Level Editor Basic Guide. In this chapter, I will show you how to make your level feel more alive. Section A. Cameras. In the editor, there are two types of cameras: normal fixed cameras and cinematic flyby cameras, which you can place on a square by using the buttons here. Cameras can be used to show the environment from a different angle or build suspense, and most notably, give players a clue on where to go next. Let's start with a few examples. You can quickly place a camera by right-clicking on a square and selecting Add Camera. Move the camera to a suitable angle. Add a trigger in the area you want the camera to activate. Here, I want the camera to look at this object when it starts animating on these squares. First add the trigger for the camera, then add another trigger for the object you want the camera to look at and select the target option in the trigger window. Double-click on the camera to see an extra option. There you can check Lock from Look Key Breakout. This will prevent the player from breaking the camera when using the Look button or drawing weapons. Remember, you can make the camera only trigger once by checking the one-shot option, or even add a timer to only have it active for a few seconds. Note that they can be used in combination with other triggers such as switches, so you can show what's happening in a different room after Lara uses a switch somewhere. Now let's move on to flyby cameras. These cameras function by moving from one camera to another in one sequence. To understand it better, I'll show you how it can work. Right-click on a square and add a flyby camera. As you can see, you can point it in any direction by rotating the viewing cone. Now if you place another one, you will notice a line between them. That's how they travel from one point to another, but it won't work right just yet. Double-click the camera you want the sequence to begin with to review the options you have. On this window, you will see several options and tick boxes. Let's start with basics only. You can have several flyby camera sequences in one level, but for now we will only use one, and that will be Sequence 0. For the first camera, some of the tick box settings you see here apply to the rest of the sequence. You can experiment how it'll look by not checking them now. For this example, I'll keep them checked. Now add the rest of your flyby cameras, and remember to number the cameras each time you advance starting from 0. If you want the camera to instantly cut to another, pull up the options of the camera where you want the cut to happen, and check the Cut Cam tick box. In my example, this happens in the second camera, which is numbered as camera 1. I wanted to cut to camera 2, so I will enter 2 in the timer field. You can also change the speed of the camera. I entered 0.5 so the camera will move at half of its original speed. Increasing it over 1 will make it move faster. Note that you can also use flyby cams to trigger things. Do you think you can figure that part out? Be sure not to check the unused options by accident, as they will cause issues. Remember to trigger the flyby camera to start it. You only need to trigger the first one to start the sequence. Check the one-shot tick box so you don't trigger it several times. Before we move to testing that, make sure that there are no duplicate numbers in the flyby sequence, and that all cameras are numbered correctly. Section B. Audio tracks. You probably noticed the wrong background track is playing. It sounds too windy for an indoors area. If you look in the engine folder, you will find a folder named Audio, which has many default audio tracks that come with the editor. It has a mix of music and background tracks. I took the liberty and searched for the background track I want for the indoor area, track 108. To change the default background track, open Tomb IDE, then click on the Scripting tab, and navigate to a Levels section of the script. Our concern here is to change the background audio from 110 to 108. Here you can see the Level script command. If you click on it, you can see the command syntax down below. When filling out command values, you should always refer to the syntax to understand what to input next. Here I want to change the sound ID, so I changed the track number from 110 to 108. To finalize, click on Build Script. With this change, the right background track will play in the game. But since the outside track won't play anymore, we need to make it play when Lara reaches that area. We will also need to play the indoors track again if Lara moves inside again. Select the squares where you want the outside track to play and add a flip effect trigger. Find the sound trigger that plays a track in channel 1, which is the background track. We want it to loop track 110 for the outside area. Now add a similar trigger with track 108 for when the player moves inside again. If you want to play a new music track that's not in the default audio folder, then add it to that folder. Remember to rename it to conform to the naming convention used in the folder. I'll rename it to 112. To give an example of how you can name them, you need to enter 3 digits, 006 or 057, not just 06 or 57. To make your new music track play, add another flip effect trigger, and find the sound trigger that plays a track in channel 2, the music channel. I'll be using track 112, and I want it to play a single time while checking one shot as well. A little better than before, but we can still take it a step further. Section C. A Believable Environment. You can always do more to enhance Lara's surroundings and make them feel more alive. Let's start with sound sources. These sources emit sound effects. Add one by right-clicking and select Add Sound Source. You can also add with the button here. I want this sound source to loop a water sound, so I will move it to the water pool I made here. Double-click on the sound source and find the water loop sound effect. Click Play Sound to make sure it's playing the right one. Press OK when done. I will copy and paste the sound source to the other pool for consistency. Let's also add a soft wind noise to the ceiling hole as well. Remember to go through your level and add sound sources to where you think they're suitable. Go to your sound settings and make sure the sounds are present in the level. If the sounds are not selected or missing, they will not play in-game. To refresh, deselect the sounds and select them again. Now let's try adding volumetric effects. In the lighting panel, click on the fog bulb and place it in a room. These bulbs add a mist-like effect. I will add it to the pool area to make the place look more humid. You can edit the bulb's size and intensity like you would the other light types. Note that you cannot color the bulb from here. You'll have to do that in the script using Tomb IDE. Pull up your script and look at the bottom of Tomb IDE. You'll notice a few tabs. Click on Reference Browser. This tab has information that will help you write parts of the script without any coding knowledge. For now, select Old Commands List from the drop-down list. Here you will find a few basic commands. Find the fog command and paste it into your script. With this, you can set a color to the fog bulb we placed earlier. I want to use a light blue color, so I will add a lower red and green values and max blue value. Note that color values can only range from 0 to 255. If you remember previously, the skybox was missing clouds. We can fix that here too. Find the layer 1 command and add it to the script. Always be sure to follow the command syntax to set the color for the clouds. The last value here refers to the speed of the scrolling sky. You can even input a negative number to make it scroll the other way. The final step is to avoid having a black box around your scrolling sky. The fix is simple. Add another script command called call add horizon and follow the syntax once more. When done, build the script and test your level. Now you should have the basic skill to create a believable environment. This is the end of chapter 5 of the basic guide. I hope this has been helpful to you.